unbelievable how tired I get by the time I get to this point. You know, sitting back here watching everybody play, my mind wanders. And I got to thinking about my cousin Hans, and he's kind of has a small farm, and he kind of likes to go into town after afternoon plowing and stuff. And likes to sit down on a park bench. And he went into town one day, and Hans is sitting there on the park bench. It's kind of close to the evening. Sitting there about a half hour, and Greta come by. That was her name. She looked over there at Hans and thought to herself, I'm gonna sit down beside Hans. And she went down there, and they both sat on that park bench for about a half hour. And she looked over at Hans and looked up at his face and with her nice, pretty blue eyes and says, Hans, penny for your thoughts. He says, well, Greta, I was kind of thinking of reaching over there and holding your hand a little bit. And she snuggled up to him there, scooched over on the park bench. Didn't take long to do that. The park bench just had a new layer of shellac on it. And they sat there for 20 minutes, you know, Hans is holding Greta's hand. And Greta looked over, she looked up at Hans and said, Hans, a penny for your thoughts. And he says, well, Greta, I was kind of thinking about putting my arm around your shoulders. And she looked up at him and she snuggled closer, Greta did. And Hans put his arm around her, and they sat there for another 20 minutes, and it's getting kind of dusk. And Greta looked up there at Hans with nice blue eyes and says, penny for your thoughts, Hans. And he says, well, I was kind of thinking of putting a big smooch on your pretty red lips, and boy, that turned her on. And she really scooched into there, and he planted a big one on her lips. And they sat there and holding hands, one hand, arm around, for another 20 minutes. And Greta looked up at Hans, and she says, Hans, a penny for your thoughts. And Hans looked at her and said, well, I was kind of wondering when you're coming to cost those other 3 pennies.
I've been wondering that too.
My wife always says, well, my mind wanders. I said, yeah, sometimes it leaves home too.
Hey Lynn, turn the slider, the monitors on the left, on your right. So just a tiny bit, not very much.
The first
Down.
one? The red
The one on
ones?
the left, it says monitor, turn just a tiny bit. I think you must have done it.
I don't see anything that says monitors.
We'll walk together to the... That's a G. George.